Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Sunday morning. I figured I would pick up from where I left off on last night's quick little vlog. Shout out to Ray for passing me this information. And yeah, so we're just gonna get into it. Again, I want to say good morning. All right, Google Pixels. They're pretty awesome. I think so. I like using Pixels. I really don't care what people say. People are like, try Galaxy S, try Galaxy No. Like to me, that's I just like Pixels. Just like people like the Galaxies, people like Motorola's. I like Pixels. You know. So let's see what Google thinks about them, right? Hey Google, what do you think about Google Pixel phones?
I'm a big fan of the Pixel. I hope there's a sequel.
So, yeah, shameless right there. But anyways, so we've seen Google's attempt at the Pixels. Hey, Tech Loving Mama, how's it going? We see Google's attempt in coming into the smartphone game, right? So we see the Pixel ones. The Pixel one, did fairly well. It was okay. Pixel 2, 2XL, continuing on. Pixel 3 had some slight problems, but and then of course the really, really big notch on the XL model. And then you got the Pixel 4, which most people say was just like a major flop. And okay. There are some aspects of the Pixel 4 and the reason why that I decided to pick one up and own one regardless. Yeah, battery wasn't, it's not the best on it. But now we can kind of say that, if this is the direction that Google's going, then yeah, we're not going to see like what we consider. Hey Gene, how's it going? We're not going to see what they consider to be flagship, right? Because Pixels are still flagships for Google. That is their flagship phone. That's the phone that really holds it down. I think for me, when I think of what is a flagship, it is what that brand is known for. Like with Samsung, it's known for the Galaxy S series, and it's also known for the Galaxy Note series. That's why those are flagships. Now, if they were to scale down the specifications of it, does it really knock it out from being a flagship for Samsung? Like, no, because it carries Samsung. And that's what the Pixels are. The Pixel carries Google as far as what they want to do with a smartphone, right? Like we see Google dabbling in all kinds of things, right? Like they had social media at one point, but they pretty much scrapped that. So Google Plus is gone. They being an internet service provider, like when Google Fiber was a thing that they were building out until they kind of scrapped that. We're also hearing about Google dabbling in, with providing, Wi-Fi wirelessly, going with, sub-6 signal. So that's something that's, to be looking forward to. And I guess the West Coast is going to be beta testing that. So I'm pretty excited for that. But Google Pixel. So, yeah, let's see. Hey, Rax, what's going on? Let's uh, let's kind of go here. And so as you guys can see, XDA pretty much dropped this. Now I shared this on the quick vlog that I did from the car. And yeah, so the Google Pixel 4a 5G and the Pixel 5, they leaked, revealing the design and the specs. So we see right here, the left, the just black variant, that is the Pixel 5, right? Very reminiscent to the Pixel 4a. As a matter of fact, at first sight, a lot of people would say, okay, so that's the Pixel 4a and that's the Pixel 4a 5G next to it. No, the just black is the Pixel 5. So that Star Trek looking phaser beam rear camera module, that's not what we're getting. We're still getting the square module to the left of it. Biometric reader is returned. And yeah, it's simple. It's clean looking. It's not like trying to be all up in your face. Plastic body, yes. Pixel 5 said to have plastic body. I'm going to drop down to the specs here so you guys can follow along with me. But there's the phones up close. So here is the specifications of the Google Pixel 5. A 4,000 milliamp hour battery. And this is rumored, by the way, okay? So no, this may not be fully accurate, but we're just going to go off what we got here. So a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. The rear cameras, there is a 0.5 times wide angle lens, possibly the 16 megapixel Sony IMX481, and then a 12.2 megapixel camera again, allegedly the Sony IMX363. So the front camera, 8 megapixel, possibly the Sony IMX355. For the processing chip, we got the Snapdragon 765G, as leaked infos over the past couple of months have been stating. 8 gigabytes of RAM. The display is to continue that 90 hertz refresh, so it's not 120. We got a plastic back, a physical fingerprint scanner on the back, and 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So those are the specifications of the Google Pixel 5. Okay, so it looks like the 5 not only reverted to a polycarbonate build, such as the A series is known for, but also bringing a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Now, people will be like, no, that should be the specifications for the Pixel 4a. However, just underneath that is the specifications for the Pixel 4a 5G, and that is a 3800 milliamp hour battery. The rear cameras are supposed to be the same as the Pixel 5, so we do have, like, the wide angle, which possibly is the IMX 481 by Sony, and then the IMX 363 for the main camera, which is a 12.2 megapixel, and then the selfie being the IMX 355, which is an 8 megapixel sensor. Snapdragon 765G, 6 gigabytes of RAM, 60 hertz refresh display, so what we normally have gotten over the years, and then fingerprint sensor, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So those are the rumored specifications for the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4a 5G. Now, one thing I will say is this: if you kind of think about it, with the Pixel 4a 5G, the Pixel 4a, and the Pixel 5, does it have Gorilla Glass on the front? It's going to. That's pretty much like a standard nowadays, Gene. Like most phones will have either the Snapdragon glass for the glass itself in the front, or I'll have Dragon Trail, which was on the Pixel 3a, and I don't see Google going back to using that, because the Pixel 3a had a lot of issues with the glass cracking easily. But in general, when you think about it, so you have the Pixel 4a that just came out August 3rd, right? And it didn't have an XL model. And then we have the Pixel 5 coming, and that doesn't have an XL model. And it looks like the Pixel 4a 5G is the XL model to both, right? It sits in between the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5. And so we know that the Pixel 4a 5G is going to cost $499 out the gate, so $500. So where does the pricing go with the Pixel 5? Because this phone, the Pixel 5, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be hated by a lot of people if Google prices this thing at $799. Okay? People are going to be like, it's iffy if it's priced at $699. Where I can see them going with this is probably, I would say, $599, at max $649. This is why when I took a guess at the price, I said it was going to be around that range. Because there are slight differences between the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4a 5G, right? Like the 90 hertz refresh on the display with the Pixel 5, that's not on the Pixel 4a. But a lot of people were like, if it's using the Snapdragon 765G, if both phones are using it, then how would they price it pretty much different? Like, what would be the reason to get the Pixel 5 over the Pixel 4a 5G if they both have 5G capabilities? See over, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in, bro. I appreciate it. Tech Twan B, what's up, bro? So we pretty much have an idea on why people would actually choose the Pixel 5 over the Pixel 4a 5G if they wanted to go that route. Like, you could go Pixel 4a 5G and still have, as far as what's on paper for specs, for those people that judge phones by that, you still see a difference on why the 5 would be maybe about $50 to $100 more than the 4a 5G, right? A 4,000 milliamp hour battery. First of all, that's the shocker here. If these specifications are true, and it's a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, then this year's Pixel will be not only king of still photography, but it could end up being king of battery life. Because you gotta think, stock Android, right, with adaptive battery, and then you have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. You have a small size to the device. Okay, in these specifications, they didn't tell you how big the display is. But we can pretty much tell it's going to be around maybe just slightly bigger than the Pixel 4a. Maybe about the same size as the Pixel 4, because the Pixel 4 just slightly edges over the 4a as far as the height of the phone. Um, and of course, they're continuing that punch hole selfie cam display, so we're gonna see like very small bezels on it. Probably like a 90% screen to body ratio. Um, yeah. So again, with the battery there, possibly king of battery. If these are true, if this is true, wherever XDA got this source from, if it's true, battery is going to be king. Because there's been articles that talked about that the Pixel 5 will have a 3040 milliamp hour battery. There's people that said that it would have the 3080 milliamp hour battery. This leaked rumored specifications claims 4,000, and 4,000. That's going to be really good, because that's one of the things that has become a major problem to people with Pixels. Right? When you look at the Pixel 4, it had a 2,800 milliamp hour battery. Now I can get a pretty decent time battery wise with the Pixel 4, but no, if someone was to say, I challenge you to be able to take your Pixel 4 off the charger at 7 a.m. and go a whole day without having to charge it, I would never win that, no matter what. The only way I would win that is to turn the phone on and not touch it, turn off the data connection and the Wi-Fi, and just leave it, because then I can get like a day and a half. Didn't you just get the Pixel 4? Are you going to upgrade to the Pixel 5? Well, I wish I had that kind of money to drop on phones like that. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the Pixel 5 directly when it comes out. I mean, I'd have to wait some time, but yeah, eventually down the road I'll get it. Now, I mean that could be totally different, right? I mean, like if this round of people selected to join Team Pixel invites me in, then yeah, I'll have it. And then of course, I'll do my reviews and stuff on it. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I'm just going to have to save up some money, put it aside until I have enough to buy it, and then I'll buy it. But this is the interesting thing here. And I'm looking to see what a lot of people's thoughts are with the Pixel 5 in general. The Pixel 4a 5G, obviously, that is future proof, because the modem that's in it obviously will allow it to have 5G capabilities, and that's always a good thing. As technology advances, you want your phone to be able to go with the times. You want to be able to utilize the new network that is being built out by all our carriers, our OEMs out there. So not our OEMs, but all our carriers. I don't know why I said OEMs, but from the carriers, we want to see this basically be compatible. Now, we don't know if it's going to support millimeter wave. That's something that I don't know. But it is said that it will support sub-6. So we'll see. But and we'll see what carriers it lands on, if it has like carrier deals, or if you just have to buy it directly unlocked from the Google store. But I almost feel like that, because this is a Google Pixel, it's not going to get a pass. People just tend to really want to like tear a phone down no matter what. Like when the Pixel 4 came out, a lot of people were upset about it. The battery really like put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So when it came to the Pixel 4 and how critical people were being of it, they were like, Google should go like mid-range. It should go, because they're 3A. The Pixel 3A was selling well, so the Pixel 4 should have went that route. So this year, I guess Google listened to people, and they decided to do that with the Pixel 5. So while it's not your ideal flagship device, it is still Google's flagship, because it holds it down for Google. And because it's doing that, it may not be flagship specifications, so not the Snapdragon 865G. However, this phone, what they've done, deciding to go polycarbonate instead of glass back, or metal back, or aluminum body, or anything like that, that and the fact that they went with a 765G allowed them to pretty much maintain like the camera sensors that the Pixel 4a 5G is going to have, and allow them to put a bigger battery in, so battery is not going to be a problem this time around. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if some people may complain. What's the major differences between the 5 and the 4a 5G? Well, I mean, the 5, 90 hertz refresh rate on the display. The Pixel 4a 5G doesn't have that. It's 60 hertz refresh, and 8 gigabytes of RAM versus 6. Yeah, just subtle differences. So really, it's all about what your preferences is. I mean, if you're willing to spend like $100 more than the Pixel 4a 5G, because I'm calling it around that's what it's going to be price wise, um, to go with the Pixel 5 to get 2 gigs more of RAM. So being able to hold more apps open in background and have more processes in background that's going to be utilizing the RAM. Obviously, you'll have more there to work with, and you know, a bigger battery, right? 4,000 milliamp. That's a pretty big size battery, and very unheard of for Google to go that route. But again, so like we know that Google was developing what's called Pixel super fans, right? And this was supposed to be like a collective group of people that the Pixel team from at Made by Google goes to get some critical feedback on their phones, right? And who knows, they may have done this for the Pixel 5, and the reason why they felt that they were going to bring out a much better flagship this year from them. And so they decided to say, okay, since we had a collective group give us what they wanted to see out of Pixel phones, and we kind of did that with the Pixel 5, maybe we should continue on that trend for future Pixel devices to come. That's probably why the Superfans was actually built, because they probably utilized that tactic for the Pixel 5. Of course, it's using a Snapdragon 765G. So a lot of those people that were throwing out rumors that, oh, it's going to have Google's own chip. No, it's been said that the Pixel 6 would actually be the first Pixel device to have Google's own chip, that they're being assisted by Samsung to help build. They're not using Exynos chips. People kind of stop. I see these articles all the time. People are like, yeah, Google's, the Pixel's going to go with the Exynos chip, man. That's not a great move. And it's like, no, they're not going with the Exynos chip. They're just not. They are building their own chip, but they're going to Samsung to help them develop and build their own chips. You just don't go building things right off the bat, without learning something, without learning from somebody who's done it for a while. Right? They could have went to Apple, but you really think Apple's going to like help Google in that market? I mean, that's their biggest competitor. So what would they do? They would have to go to Samsung, because they can't go to Huawei. Can't go to Huawei after all this madness and this, they got banned and everything like that. As far as like being able to work with Google using Google services and all this other stuff, they can't go to them for help. So yeah. They only had Samsung. Samsung is the only one that they can go to help them build that chip. So we can see that chip on the Pixel 6 next year, 2021, around fall. But of course, we're going to start hearing a lot of leaked info. After Christmas is when those leaked information is going to start popping out, just like this one right now. Now, again, these specifications where XDA got this information from, that is, again, I won't take it as 100% until the phone comes out, which, according to other leaks, it's supposedly the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4a 5G should launch September 30th this year, 2020. But the white variant of the Pixel 4a 5G will not launch until sometime in October. It is said that there's supposed to be two colors to the Google Pixel 5. There's supposed to be the just black and then a mint green version. So we'll see. According to John Prosser, shout out to him. Front Page Tech is back up and running again. If you guys didn't see his latest video, go ahead and check it out. He pretty much tells you guys exactly what happened to his channel and that was just kind of crazy. Um, but I'll say the direction that Google is going, like this is what they need to do for now. Okay. I wouldn't say that this is where they have to stay forever because I do want Google to build a very solid phone in the future. And if the price tag is $1,000 and everything about that phone's got to scream, this is why we are $1,000. I mean that's the thing about pricing. Like more like most people don't want to spend $1,000 anymore and feel like that they did not get what they paid for. That is the problem. You know, so like I said, so right now the Pixel 4 would be considered like the last premium to the material that they used, the last premium Pixel device built by Google until they do something different. They do something different with the Pixel 6, and that's going to be crazy. There's also rumors that with the Pixel 6's launch, that there will be a foldable Pixel device. We're hearing a lot of this, and you know what? I wouldn't say that it's all lies. Um, I do think that Google's in the works of making a foldable device. We know that Apple is. Apple, it is confirmed that Apple is working on a foldable iPhone. It's not the one with the video that's leaked out where it's like this skinny, a very thin device that is like, clamshell folded and that you swipe on the outer display and then the phone just, has like a motor built into the hinge to just open the phone up completely all the way. It's not that, but we do know that Apple's in the works for a foldable phone, and so Google to do the same. It wouldn't be so far off if they did. Um, in general, the way that I feel about it, so I know people are going to complain no matter what. There are people that just, like I said, Pixels don't ever get a pass. They just don't. You know, other companies can build a plastic built phone and then get a pass on it. Google's not going to get that. So that's just being straight up honest with everybody. Um, Personally, with these specifications being mentioned in this leak, I'm totally on board with that. Like that's to me, that's it. Google, like, you know what? Like I would love to try these phones out when they come out. Really would. Pray hard for it because one, I want to see what Google did with these because they are different from what they normally do. And then two, bring you guys as much information as possible about these phones for those people who may be interested in Pixels. Um, to give you guys the go no go on them, which more than likely would be a go, considering all what you're getting. And then the pricing. Again, the pricing is where it's really going to be key. The pricing could make or break the Pixel 5. The Pixel 4a 5G, $499. We know this already. And you know what? It's kind of warranted. But it's kind of, at the end of the day, it's kind of cool just how they did it. You have the Pixel 4a, polycarbonate, LTE only model, $350, price right. Then you have the 4a 5G, which is the XL to that, sitting in the middle. And then you have the Pixel 5, which is smaller than the Pixel 4a 5G, pretty much the flagship that's holding it up for Google. But then also the 4a 5G acts as the XL version to the 5, even though it has slightly specifications that would make the Pixel 5, like there would be a reason to buy the Pixel 5, even though like they have the same processing chip and they have 5G capability. 90 hertz refresh, two 2 gigabytes more of RAM compared to the 4a 5G. So there is reasons why you could opt for it. Now, the one thing I didn't see in any of these specifications is obviously water and dust resistance, and wireless charging for the 5. So I don't know, but it could be there because people are like, you can't wirelessly charge through plastic. Yes, you can. You can wirelessly charge through plastic. The Nexus 7 2013 tablet had wireless charging and it has a plastic back. I own one. I know. So when I don't want to plug it into a cable, I put my Nexus 7 on my Qi charger and it charges right up. Now, it's not fast charging. It takes a while to charge that tablet up, but it does charge wirelessly. So if you're wondering if the Pixel 5 is not going to have wireless charging, it should. It should have it, and it is possible to have it, even though they went with a polycarbonate body, which is tough and rugged, and you don't have to worry about cracking the back of the phone. So you could rock it without a case, but definitely put a screen protector on the camera module on the back. Definitely put a screen protector on the front of the phone to protect it. So I mean, it's just that's gonna have 5G. Yeah, the Pixel 4a 5G is 5G capable. The Pixel 4a, that's not 5G at all. That will not have 5G at all. It does not have the modem to do that. It's what the homie Sneed talks about basically, and the reason why he says that the Pixel 4a that just came out in August is not future proof. It doesn't have the support to support 5G. Doesn't have the modem for it. Therefore, I mean, it'll run its time. And as 5G is built out, there'll be one phone that people will be like, well, I need a 5G capable phone. So the 4A 5G is kind of like, Google's kind of like a step ahead on that. They're like, okay, in the future, if you want to buy the 4A 5G, so you have a 5G capable device, here you go, 4A 5G, and it's the biggest one out of all of them. So if you want, like, if screen size is a must-have, then the 4A 5G is going to be your option. Okay, so it's going to be, you know, the best of both worlds, between the 4A and what it's offering and the 5 and what it's offering, and then big size display. But this year, if those specs are true, before I close this out, guys, I'm not gonna make this too long, but if all these specifications are true, then this year the Pixel 5 is not just going to be the still photography camera king, it's also going to be a battery beast. 4,000 milliamp hour battery in that sucker with Google's software optimization and adaptive battery. It's going to be a beast. Yes, it will be unlocked versions. Yes, of course, it's going to be unlocked versions. Google sells all their Pixels with the unlocked version from the Google Store. You think about getting one? Which one, the 4A 5G or the 5? Because I will go back to this right here, and I'll say that, me, I want to see this in the mint green. I definitely do. If there's somebody that's let's just see if we can we can't make it bigger. Okay. On mobile phones you can, I guess. Um but yeah, I mean, that's crazy. And it's funny because John Prosser, when he was talking about, like, when these phones were going to launch, he was like, the white variant for the Pixel 4a 5G will launch sometime in October. And here in this photo, there is a white variant. So, I mean, those people who question John Prosser and they're like, he's lying, he's lying. I don't know, because the person who leaked this information deleted it, but people were able to grab what they posted just in time to share this out. So, yeah, there's a white Pixel 4a 5G. So John Prosser's not off there. He's pretty much got it. Getting the 5, going back to smaller footprint phone. Yeah, smaller footprint of a phone. Of course, the display punch hole design for the camera. So it's not, basically very, very tiny to no bezels on it. Almost nearly no bezels. And so you get like a massive screen real estate to, like, watch, videos and movies and stuff like that on it, or play games in a smaller form factor. So that's always good. That's always nice. But yeah, what do you guys think? Like, Google going this route, so, like, kind of like, keep the 4A 5G out of the picture for a second, just focus on the Pixel 5. What do you guys feel currently right now, knowing that the Pixel 5 will have a polycarbonate body, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, 90 hertz refresh rate, 8 gigabytes of RAM instead of 12, and it's running the Snapdragon 765G. Mind you, we did not even get information on storage options. So, is there going to be, a 256 and a 512? Are we going to see those? And then does the pricing go up based on that? That's something to also think about too. Or is Google doing the same thing that they did with the Pixel 4a, which is a one storage option, 128 gigs? Because I think some people will complain about that. If there's only like a 128 gig model, people will complain and say that's not enough, yada, yada, yada. You guys tell me. Because again, you also got to think here. Google's trying to keep these phones at a price range that people will look at it and say, I want one. And that, excuse me, I'll get one. Excuse me while I vape off camera. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Geez, I hope that Made by Google finds me. I would really, really, really love the opportunity to review both these phones, and it would be such an honor to be able to do that um, when it comes out. Only because these phones are going to be they're going to be memorable in Google's history if you think about it. Because these phones, well, the Pixel 5 mostly would be the point that shows that Google made a turn and stopped trying to be like other OEMs and finally decided to do things themselves, like in that sense take the reins of their production of their Pixel lineup and do something that they felt people would gravitate more towards. Loving the lower starting prices. Yes, yes. This is what's going to get more pixels in people's hands that Google wanted. That's the reason why Google decided to go with the A series and start building the A series, because they wanted more pixels in people's hands. See, the problem with Google is that like a lot of people, they know who they are, but they know them as a search engine. Like Google Fi, people have heard of Google Fi, but they don't know what Google Fi offers as far as phone service. And then they don't feel like that it's something that would entice them to switch from like Verizon to them, right? So Google has this thing that when they do something, people hear about it, but they don't know enough about it, and they're not enticed to even want to know more about it. So with the A series, they put more pixels in people's hands. And yeah, I would say with these lower price points, this is definitely going to have it as an option. But you know what? I mean, it's not all Google's fault too, because also like when they partner with carriers, I mean, how many carriers actually promoted the Pixel devices? You walk into like let's say like a T-Mobile store, or AT&T store. They're not going to tell you like, oh yeah, we have the Pixel 5 here, and this is a great Android phone. No, they're going to do what their store manager, what their regional manager says to do. If the regional manager says sell Galaxy Note 20 Ultras, sell them, then that's what they're going to push to everybody. You come in, you say, yeah, I'm looking for a phone with a decent battery. They're going to say Note 20 Ultra. They're not going to tell you about Pixel 5. Only if you're like, no, I don't like Samsungs, I'm not thinking about Samsungs, then they will bust out the Pixel 5. If you walk in and you say, yeah, I take a lot of photos of the family. I would love a phone with like a really decent camera. They're not going to go to the Pixel 5 and say this has one of the best still photography cameras ever. No, they're going to go Note 20 Ultra. That's how these stores work. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, that's how they work when you go in and you start relying on the store rep to help you purchase a phone. That's what they do. They're always going to promote the phone that their regional manager says they got to sell the hell out of. Okay, so I personally love the 4A. It's about the same size as my Pixel 3, which I love the size. I don't need a big phone because I have a Note 9, which is the last real Note phone in my opinion. So the Pixel is awesome. That's awesome, Ruben. That is dope. Yeah, the Pixel 3 was pretty awesome. I gave mine to my dad. He enjoys it, but there are things that he's not used to because he's always used Android with a heavy skin on it. So he's always used like a Samsung. Um, I mean, he's had his Galaxy S7 for a long time. It wasn't only he had it up until June of this year of 2020, where I, popped his AT&T SIM card into the Pixel 3 that I once owned, and then helped him set it up. So he's still getting used to stock Android, and there are features of Samsung that specifically only for Samsung that my dad really, really enjoyed that he doesn't find on the Pixels, like assigning personal SMS notifications, like the ringtones. You can assign a ringtone for a specific contact when they call. It'll have a different ringtone than your default ringtone, but to assign a personal notification tone, it does not. So but I mean, those are things that he's going to be like, well, I'm not gonna use this phone anymore. I mean, he's still going to use it. We'll leave it there on the specifications for those that pop in and out. They can read the specs for the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4a 5G. But yeah. At the end of the day, I think this is a good direction for the Pixels. I really do, and I'm excited to see how well these phones contend in 2020, especially, if people want them to go up against, the iPhone 12 and the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra and the Galaxy S20 Ultra, to see where they go, how do they stack up with it, because this year, and there's only one thing that I will say right now on record that I'm kind of sad about. Like, I love the idea that they put a wide angle lens back onto the device for people to get, those wide angle shots to get, which is a 16 megapixel shooter. And then you have the 12.2 megapixel main rear camera sensor. That's totally fine. What I don't understand is, why did they get rid of the telephoto and the zoom capabilities? I really wish they had all three. And you know what? With that square module in the back, they should be able to fit all three camera sensors back there along with the flash. That's just me personally. I really would have loved for them to have kept the telephoto, because I use it. I use it. I know everyone last year was screaming ultra wide angle, ultra wide angle. Yeah, because other not carriers, other OEMs were doing ultra wide. It's that cursed thing, right? Like, if everybody wants OEMs to act like 10 copycats in the boat. Really, that's really what it is too. When people critique phones these days, it's always like 10 copycats in the boat. One jumped out. How many stayed behind? And the correct answer would be like none, because they were all copycats. Well, I like to think that Google is the smart cat, right? The 10 copycats in the boat. One jumped out. How many stayed behind? One, Google, and kept rowing on and on and on. But that's just me. But anyways, guys, you know what? So that's pretty much it right now. I'm not gonna hold you guys too much up on the Sunday. Today you guys should be relaxing and resting, and I should too. But I just really, really wanted to come up live here and just kind of share what I thought, in depth about the Pixel 5 being, what it is, and liking what I'm seeing. If these specifications are correct, I'm liking what I'm seeing. All Google has to do, and I think John Prosser will agree with me on this, all Google has to do is nail the pricing. If they nail the pricing, this could be, if not the top, at least in the top 3 of the best smartphones released in 2020. So, first of all, I want to thank everyone that came in: Tech Love and Mama, Mario, Gene, Gboy 888, Ruben Jones. Thank you guys all for coming in. Tech Twan B, thanks for popping in. Rax as well, thanks for popping in. I really appreciate you guys catching the live. If you guys caught the replay, hashtag replay crew. Also, hashtag AA for Aloha Android. And if you really love Pixel devices, and the hashtag to put, hashtag Team Pixel, you're golden there. If you guys want Team Pixel to invite me, hashtag unofficial Team Pixel. And yeah, I say that. Also, shout out to Cova for coming in too, man. I really appreciate that as well, man. Yeah, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm gonna go eat breakfast now, and yeah, I'll see you guys this coming week. As always, aloha.